Hi everyone, I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are going to do a Pisces energy check-in. So we're just going to connect to the collective Pisces energy, see if there's anything you need to be aware of, any messages that are wanting to come through, all of that fun stuff. So do keep in mind that these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon, rising, or Venus placements because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all that information in the description box. The first message I'm getting right off the bat is raise your energy first, then deal with the conflict. Raise your energy first. Raise your energy first, period. And be mindful of what you are doing to raise your energy, to elevate your energy, to get your energy to a space of peace and calm and love, acceptance, whatever that is, but a more ideal place within your emotional state. You don't want to look to external sources to help you raise your energy or ease your energy, because then you become dependent on those external sources, right? So you want to be careful that when you're anxious, you don't want to automatically go and watch a tarot reading, YouTube reading, because that might provide you that solace in the moment, that clarity in the moment. But then you're going to instinctively go to those things to raise your energy, and you want to raise your energy first, then look towards the guidance, right? Then look to the tarot readings, then have the conversation, then look at the problem, because when your energy is elevated, it's easier for you to see the perspective that you need to perceive. When you are in a state of anxiety and you have a conversation, it's likely not going to get anywhere, right? Because all that's being focused on in that moment is what is causing stress and not necessarily the alignment needed for the solution. So raise your energy first, and then deal with life, basically. But that needs to be the first. Praying, meditating, just even taking 5 minutes to do deep breathing exercises. I just recently watched this, it was a heart coherence breathing exercise on YouTube. It was a 20-minute thing, and literally you just watch the ball go up and you breathe in, you watch the ball go down, you breathe out, and it was 6 seconds each. For whatever reason, that made me feel grounded, not like numb, not like so calm that like I'm so relaxed, but it made me feel like calm but also aware at the same time, and it brings your heart and mind into agreement. So my point in that was breathing exercises genuinely do help. And if that's something that you're interested in, I think it was called heart coherence meditation or heart coherence breathing, and it was a 20-minute long video. But breathing raises your energy. Getting out in nature raises your energy. Wearing more bright clothes, surrounding yourself with brighter colors, drinking more water, not watching social media, not connecting to things that have a tendency to bring more anxiety. Whatever it is, when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling anxious, when you have conflict that you need to deal with, when you have something that you're struggling with, when there's a decision that you need to make the first priority be, let me raise my energy first, and then look at this when I feel more clear. But again, you don't want to look to something external to raise your energy, because that's not really you raising your energy. That's you connecting to something else. And not that that's bad. And if that's what's necessary, that's what's necessary. But you don't want to become dependent on outside sources to elevate your energy, because that has a tendency to keep you in a space of constantly reaching for something outside of you. So let's see what other messages are wanting to come through, if there's any clarity on the first message. Okay, what is it that your higher self is wanting you to know right now? What is the strongest message that's wanting to come through? So here's a couple things to keep in mind. So currently we have, now depending on when you're watching this, I'm posting this in January. So if you're watching it a little bit later, might not be relevant. But currently we have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars all in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn compared to Pisces, like, that's very conflicting, right? Capricorn is very serious and very focused on the structure and very focused on the rules, and very focused on reality, where Pisces is vastly different. Pisces is very spiritual. Is it ethereal? Is that how you say it? Ethereal. Very, very focused on energy, very connected to energy, very connected to dreams, the faith-based things, right? Everything that we don't see, right? Pisces has a very strong connection to the things that are not necessarily visible, right? So that right there is going to feel very limiting for you. It's going to make you feel kind of boxed in. And on top of that, we also have Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn is the planet of karma. Saturn is the planet of rules, structure, same type of energy. So Saturn is restricting the energy of Pisces. Neptune is also in the sign of Pisces in 29 degrees. Now, Neptune rules Pisces. So Neptune is a very similar energy to Pisces. It's all of the things that we don't see. It's our beliefs, it's our feelings, it's our dreams, it's our fears, it's our illusions, it's all of those things. And being in 29 degrees is the last, is the final degree. So it's a very karmic degree. So all of these energies are on a collective level pushing us to take things more seriously. And so, and bring things into reality, bring our dreams into reality, let go of things in our imagination, our mental state, our invisible whatever that aren't serving us, and bring things into reality. If we can't bring it into reality, if we can't embody that in our reality, then it might be something that we need to let go of, right? And that's not to say to let go of your dreams at all in any capacity, right? But it is encouraging us to, a lot of times, especially Pisces, it's easy for us to have a dream that we want and then feel comfortable with it being slightly out of reach, right? And so all of this energy is asking us, what can we do to take these things more seriously? And also at the same time, all of those things that go on in our mental state, in our emotional state, that might be blocking us from moving forward in our reality. Let's deal with those and let go of what we need, let go of what's holding us back. So for you as a Pisces, that is your gift. The hidden aspect of you, your faith, your emotional state, your belief systems, your creativity, your imagination, that is how you specifically create your reality, right? And so you don't want to be in the space of dismissing your dreams, but you do want to be in a space of recognizing, I don't have to keep these in the dream state. I don't have to keep these hidden. I can have these things in my reality. And the way that you can do, a Pisces can do that easily, is by really paying attention to what goes on in that imagination state of yours, in that dream state of yours, in your mental space, right? What are your thoughts? What are your fears? What are you constantly dwelling on? What are you constantly hoping for? And what is the blockage that keeps it there and not in your reality? When you spend a lot of time, the unknown space, that subconscious state, that emotional state, that mental state, all of those things that we don't see, that state is what is creating the reality we experience. If in that state we're fearful, we're creating stories as to why we don't have what we want. We are that we're romanticizing, being left out. We're romanticizing, not having our dreams fulfilled, bitch, I can talk, I swear. We tend to romanticize the things that we can't have, or we feel or believe that we can't have, right? So what you want to do in this state, and I'm sorry for dragging this out, pay attention to what goes on in your subconscious state. And just what I mean by that is the things that aren't visible in your reality. What are your dominant thoughts? What is your dominant emotional state? What is your dominant fear? What is your dominant illusion? Because those are the things that you are inviting into your reality. So if you're constantly sitting going, life sucks, why am I always left, whatever, that's what you're going to manifest. When you can recognize that you can also create in that unknown space, you can put focus on what you want, you can put focus on what you want to experience, what's important to you, what's valuable to you, what has meaning to you, and shift that focus to more of what you want to create, what you want to experience, as opposed to what could possibly go wrong. You will start seeing those things show up more in your reality. I also feel like for some of you, it would be really helpful to try to find a way to express or get out all of the things that other people maybe don't necessarily see within you, that you don't necessarily share with other people. It's not always easy to just, easily express yourself authentically to other people, right? But if you could find a way to get those things out just for your benefit, right? Paint, try automatic writing, try just writing down everything that's going on in your mind just to get it out. Just to get it out. You need to express it. You need to bring these creations into being. You need to bring your desires into being. And with this energy that we're dealing with now, it's probably making you feel like you're being boxed in. And it might push you more, like push you into kind of like a spiral, right? Because you feel like this is not cohesive to your energy. But the way that you can work with this energy, Saturn and Capricorn want to see things in real time. And so if you can find a way to get out everything that's going on internally, you're bringing it out into your reality where you can deal with it. I hope that makes sense, because I probably just went all over the place with that. But it's like who you are and the type of person you are is not a curse. It's your gift. You just have to learn how to work with that gift in the reality that you've been placed in. Work with the energy that's around you. Right now we're dealing with Capricorn energy, right? So that's asking you to try to bring your internal world out somehow. Let me see if we can get more clarity on this message. How is this showing up in your current energy? Your inner child is like trying to get your attention. Your inner child has all of these dreams, all of these desires, all of this hope. Your inner child is wanting a new beginning. Your inner child is wanting to feel purpose, meaning to get up, right? Your inner child has a dream and a desire, but everything outside, it's almost like there's so much noise. There's all this noise around you. There's all these ideas. There's all these opinions. There's all of this guidance around you. You also you feel very, I don't want to say you feel vulnerable. But it feels like your mind is interfering with your heart space. Your mind is your mind is like a very strict parent, a parent that is very much by the book, very much the type of parent that is like, that's ridiculous, we have to take things seriously, life is about suffering, life is hard, life is supposed to be hard, it's not supposed to be easy, all of those things. Like your mind is like this energy that's talking your inner child out of having hope. It's like you're battling yourself without even realizing that you're battling yourself. The cross is a message that your own beliefs might be the cause of your suffering. And it's time to examine the beliefs that are keeping you in a state of suffering, if that's where you're at. I'm not assuming that you're suffering. And this is also not to say that this month is going to bring suffering for you. But it's like you have a dream, you have a desire, just this desire for a good life, this desire for happiness, this desire for love, this desire for peace and enjoyment and fulfillment. And that's meaningful. And it's meant to be something that you experience in this lifetime. But it's like the outer world is so, it's like there's so much noise. And you have to be able to filter through that noise. So let me see if we can get a little more detail. How is this showing up in your current energy? Yeah, I feel like you're currently starting something new. You're looking towards a new beginning. You're wanting to. The Page of Pentacles is like bringing something into your reality, building upon something, seeing something that you value and that you want to build upon. What's crossing you is the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is kind of with other people, it can be conflict, like ego-based conversations, ego battle conversations, but just not good communication with other people. But it could also be that your mental state is seeing this as something that you need to fight for, or feeling like everything is a battle. Our ego and our mind are not necessarily evil, so I don't want to imply that. Your ego and your mind, it's like it's always trying to protect you. And so your mind is going to go, what about this? What about this? What about this? Right? Because your mind is trying to protect you in the moment, to protect your energy in the moment. But all your mind knows is what it has already experienced. Your mind doesn't really have concept of future or the possibilities. It's your soul, your heart center space that has that connection to the possibilities, to something new, to growth. And so that's what you need to connect to when you're wanting to build on something new. But your mind is going to freak out. Your mind doesn't like new things. Your mind does not like change. And so your mind is going to start going, okay, don't we need to worry about this? We need to protect ourselves. We shouldn't communicate this. We shouldn't do this. And you need to be able to kind of like that, like, it's not a bad thing that your mind wants to protect you, right? But you do need to be able to see, okay, this is just my mind. What is my heart saying in this, right? What does my inner child want in all of this? I also feel that you very consistently have been feeling like what you want is just out of reach, or the type of life that you want to experience is not really meant for somebody like you, or it's something that very few people have. But I feel like you have been very consistently grounded in this belief that your dreams will always be just out of reach. Or in order to achieve or have the things that you want, you have to have this insane amount of success first. Also, I kind of feel like that there's a new beginning that is being presented to you, that is in front of you, that you're stepping into, but it's all very new. It's a new beginning, right? And it's kind of like it's a new beginning that brings about an emotional awakening also, because it's something that your inner child is wanting also, right? But that stirs up a lot. It stirs up emotions. And when those emotions get stirred up, the mind wants to go, And so without realizing it, you might be feeling like a surge of energy and feeling a surge of emotions and misinterpreting that as I need to turn around and go the other way. That this is not meant for me. But you need to see that surge of energy and that surge of emotions as this is possible. We just need to get rid of the beliefs that are contradicting this. Yeah, Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords literally is the card that means it's the mind that is addicted to suffering. It is your own mental state that is keeping you stuck. It's not any outside sources. And I'm not like, that's not meant to say that this is your fault. It's not to say that you're doing anything wrong. It's really intended to say that the limitations that you believe are there aren't really there. It's your mind trying to convince you that they are, because your mind doesn't want your inner child to get hurt, but your inner child's not going to get hurt. Your inner child is only going to suffer if you keep pushing it down and ignoring it. So you have the Two of Pentacles as the outcome. So you have something new showing up for you. This is something new that has potential, but it requires an emotional awakening as well, right? It requires for you to connect to your emotional world and follow that emotional state, that soul center space, and not necessarily the logical mind with this. And that doesn't mean you keep this in theory, right? You're meant to bring this into reality, right? And so following your heart on something, I just want to clarify, following your heart for something doesn't mean that you just wait in faith, right? It means you make the moves that are going to benefit you in the moment, even if it's only a little bit that you can do. But you have this new coming in, but it requires a shift. It requires a change. It requires a shift in your beliefs. It requires you letting go of this old version of you that has felt that you always have to struggle and suffer in order to get what it is that you want. Yeah, do you want to enjoy this, or do you want to consistently keep it out of reach? Are you more comfortable with the idea of actually nurturing what you want? Or are you more comfortable with it just being out of reach? And what are you telling yourself to stay comfortable with this just being out of reach? Your guidance is the Temperance card. So the Temperance card is like, kind of like almost like a trial and error thing. You're a student. You don't have to have it all perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. Growth happens within the experience. Growth does not happen in the mind. Growth happens in the experience. Growth happens by taking our chances. And sometimes it means that we take our chances and it doesn't go the way that we thought that it was going to go, but it doesn't mean that that was bad. It's still helping us move forward. The Temperance card is also a message that this practical stuff is just as important as the emotional stuff. Your dreams have just as much value in your reality as your reality does. You are meant to have happiness, not just stability, right? What you're not seeing is the Five of Wands. You're not seeing the conflict that you are creating. Again, I don't mean to make this seem like it's your fault, but there's conflict. Your mind wants one thing and your heart wants something different. Those two things need to get into agreement, and not into agreement by your mind going, we can't go after these things. It's ridiculous, right? You need to shut up, right? It's not about shutting off the heart center space. That doesn't bring those things into agreement. You can't completely shut off the mind either, right? But you can make your mind work for you by choosing where you are focusing. So the Hermit card is asking you, the Hermit card and the World card, your success lies within everything that you desire. The meaning you're assigning to things, the purpose that you want, that you feel you're here for. What holds meaning to you? What is valuable to you? What is it that you want to experience? That has meaning. When you connect to what is the meaning for you, what is meaningful for you, what you want to experience, and close out everything that does not fit into that experience. I know, I make it sound so simple. Can we get some guidance as to where this may be showing up for you? Oh, you're feeling isolated. You're feeling like you have this dream that is like very far away, but the only reason it is far away is the distance that you feel between your desires and those being in reality is a reflection of how much separation there is between your heart and your mind. And when you can bring those two into agreement, not I'm going to let my mind do this, or I'm just going to let my heart bring them into agreement. They have to be working together. That's what's going to help you move forward. Love you. Have a good week.